It's too cold for you here. Except it's heat. What up, y'all? It's your girl Naya Athena, and welcome back to my channel. It is Review Wednesdays. Yep, it's Review Wednesdays now. Just go along with it. We are back at it again with the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series, episode 7. So let's get straight into it. We got a lot to get into. Honestly, it was like a long episode, but it wasn't. But I took so many notes, so I'm ready to tell my story. The story of the Avatar. Period. So boom, getting straight into it. Scene 1. I'm not gonna be counting the scenes. I don't know why I said scene 1. Just go with it. All right, just go with it. Okay. We in the Fire Nation. Okay. The lieutenant, who is now loyal to Zuko, because remember last episode, Zuko got his lieutenants and all his people on his side again after they heard how they became his people. So we see the lieutenant running to tell Zuko that the Fire Lord has sent for Zuko to be brought to the nation for treason, like brought back home to go on trial for treason. So they like, what? Excuse me? Who? What? How, what I do? So they saying that General Zhao, or what is his name? Admiral Zhao. He's Admiral now. Remember that? He convinces Fire Lord Ozai to, I guess, expose that Zuko was the one behind the blue mask. Because remember, but we thought the blue mask demon got away with it. We thought that he didn't, So they had it had to be Admiral Zhao. Like, who else but him? Because he a hater. So we see Zuko getting ready to run. Like, we see him basically like, Iroh's like, okay. He's like, they get right into action. And he's like, you gotta go. Like, so they try to sneak Zuko away on this ship. And then we see Zuko on the ship, and Zuko notices a freaking bomb on the ship. So then we see the ship explode. We see Uncle Iroh in the distance like, oh, shoot. Zuko. Whole time, General Zhao made it on purpose so that his lieutenant would hear them talking about it and made it a trick. So basically baited him. Basically baited him because he knew that he would go and tell Zuko and Iroh that, and it would make Zuko run and look like a prisoner, or look like what they call him? Look like he was creating treason anyways. So he thought he was doing, and then he tried to assassinate him on top of that. So it's like, ooh, wow. It was crazy. I'm like, dang, we right into it. So boom, episode 7, The North. I love this episode personally. I hold it close to my heart. It's just a good episode. I mean, I think it's one of the best ones, honestly. One of the best ones, like, be for real. So we on Team Avatar, right? The gang's all back together again. They are on Appa. Appa looks beautiful. They are going through the north. So boom, they get to the Northern Water Tribe, and it looks perfect. It literally looks the same. It looks great. I literally love it. It looks literally the same, like from all the way down. They pretty much did their thing. But as they're flying in, Aang gets a vision of the tower, like the main tower that they're looking at in the Northern Water Tribe. He literally gets a vision of it being destroyed by the Fire Nation. So he's like, oh, time to do my Avatar duties. That's pretty much what he does. And so they meet the chief of the Water Tribe, which is like the king, I guess you could say, but chief is because it's a tribe. His name's Arnuk, and they meet Master Paku, the master waterbender of the Water Tribe. And they meet Princess Yue, who is the chief's daughter. And she looks pretty much just like the original. I wish they would have gave her a better wig, but what can you do? I mean, she didn't really kind of give me Princess Yue, but I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at it, so let's just go along with it. Period. So, of course, Sokka is swooned by Princess Yue because he feels like she's a familiar face. He's like, who is that? I've seen you before. Where I know you from? And then we go to the next scene. Iroh is listening to Zhao, and Zhao is like basically like talking to him, like pretending to be upset about Zuko and saying like, oh, whoever did this, da 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 da. And Iroh is like, this is all Fire Lord Ozai's fault. So honestly, I ain't gonna lie, from this scene alone, not to spoil, well, I'm finna tell y'all anyway, so is it really a spoil? I knew just from how they was talking to each other that both of them thought that they was being fake, but it was very clear that they was both like acting. Like it was very obvious, and it was kind of like funny to me. Like, no way y'all both think y'all playing each other right now. Like, because I could tell that y'all playing each other. But whatever. So So yeah, Iroh is talking to Zhao, and Zhao plays on that, and he tells Iroh that he will take the northern tribe despite like his lack of experience. Like he like, I'm gonna do this. This gonna be my big defeat, pretty much. Kind of like how Uncle Iroh had in his past time as a warrior for the Fire Nation. So Iroh is like, how you plan on doing that? Because ain't nobody ever been able to do it before, like not even me type. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, don't worry about how I'm gonna do it, just know I'm gonna do it. And he's like, okay, I guess that's where Iroh's supposed to come in and like help him or something. Iroh like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but okay, whatever. So boom, we go to the next scene. We see Azula. Boom, back to Azula. She's fighting in all these trials still, trying to prove herself to her father, which is the Fire Lord Ozai. And of course, Ozai is never satisfied. And so she's like kind of like crumpling a little bit because she's like, what in the world? Like, why is he not happy? So Ty Lee and Mayer, her friends, are trying to tell her, like, girl, he playing in your face. Like, he know you the greatest. Like, he just playing. Like, he know you good. You don't need to do all that. And Azula is like, no, I need to do all of that because clearly he don't know I'm great enough. Period. So boom, next scene. That was a real quick, short, sweet scene. Then we see Katara, and she is back. She is in somewhere that feels like home to her. So she is eating her favorite food with the little stewed sea prunes. That sounds so nasty, but it might be good. You know, seafood be good for real. Like, you just gotta give it a chance. That's how it be with some stuff. You just gotta give it a chance. You gotta let it acquire the taste for it, but it be good for real. Like, I can't even be mad at her. And so she's like, yeah, it tastes like home. And Aang is like talking to her, you know, they're bonding, they're talking, whatever. So Tara voices her desires to pretty much learn like more about the waterbenders. And Paku was telling her to, okay, like, you want to learn about waterbending? Okay, go find this female bender. She will begin to teach you and you can learn. So Katara like, all right, cool, bet. So that's exactly what she go do. She go to the lady that he told her to go to. And meanwhile, Sokka is going to go rizz up Yue, because clearly he want her. Cool. Mind you, he sees that Yue is a bender too. Like, she's bending, like playing with the food and stuff. So that like, he like, oh, okay, cool. Noted. So I feel like in this one, Yue is less giving princessy, like uppity, like how she gave in the original. She's more just giving normal girl. Like, I really wish they gave her a better wig. I'm gonna say it again because it's just like, but she was just giving like cool, like down to earth. And I don't know, like I didn't expect that because in the original, Yue was like down to earth, but she wasn't like, not in that manner. Like, I feel like it was in a different manner, but like I said, I'm not mad at it. It just was different. So I'm like, okay, cool. And so Sokka and her are talking, and they're pretty much bonding over like sharing that same responsibility and like over their tribe, because Sokka was a warrior in the Southern Water tribe. So he's like, yeah, you know, and you know, pretty much just like getting back to like that childhood innocence that they wish they once had. Sokka notices a hairpiece on Princess Yue, like on the top of her head, and he's like, I knew I seen you before, because whole time he thinking she looked familiar. He like, I knew I seen you. Oh, you was in the spirit world. So in the spirit world, y'all, I need y'all to remember well, actually, I don't even know if I mentioned this, but in the spirit world, in the last episode or the episode before that, one of those, he's seen a white-tailed, three-tailed fox, and the fox had the same hair piece on its tail, on one of the tails. So that's what he's seen, and it would have white hair, so clearly it was her in spirit, I guess. And so he was like, I knew I seen you before, and she was like, oh. And so then we see this man named Han. He's just a random dude. Whatever. And he pretty much asked Sokka for like Fire Nation info because they all, obviously the Water Tribe already knew that the Fire Nation was coming. Like, they had a feeling. Mind you, no point in this episode are they explaining how they knew and what's really going on, because we hear the Admiral talking about he got something up his sleeve. He finna take over the Water Tribe, and the Water Tribe like, oh yeah, we know they coming. So it's like, what's really going on? Like, what's actually finna happen? The chief and the master bender asks Aang, like, hey, you gonna help us? Like, cause clearly you're here for a reason, you know? You knew they was coming too. And Aang is like, actually, I don't have any control. I don't know no other elements. Like, I'm new to this. I'm not true to this yet. And they're like, oh. Like, they're confused and disappointed. And they're just like, well, guess we can't get no help from the Avatar, I guess. They was like, well, what about the stories of what we've heard so far? And he's like, well, my friends helped me. And they're like, oh, okay, he's weak because he needed help from his friends, which I don't like. I don't understand why everybody mad that he got help from his friends. I don't know if they just jealous or what. Like, everybody need a little help sometimes. Like, okay. Katara gets sent to this water bender who is a woman, and she is healing. Like, she's teaching a healing class on the water. And so she's sent there. She has learned how to heal, and basically the art of healing is just to learning to understand the empathy, to feel that person's pain, and to take it away. That's literally what she says to her. And Katara learned that in like 2 seconds. She like, all right, what's next? Like, come on. So she like, all right, now I'm trying to learn some combat, and pretty much the woman's like, but healing is the highest form of bending. But she's like, I want to fight too, though. And she's like, okay, well, women aren't allowed to fight. And Katara's like, who? Who not allowed to fight? They said women. She's, who? Not me. So Katara is mad. And so she ends up, going to find whoever made that rule. Because who not allowed to fight? Girl, I've been fighting. She like, I've been fighting since I came over here. Like, what? Then we see Sokka talking to the same guy, Han, and he was like pretty much peeping because he peeped how he was looking at Yue. So he's like, did you like her or something? Like, what's going on? And Han ends up telling him that they were betrothed, but Yue broke it off because Yue didn't want to be with him. Yue said no. So he's like, dang, so you would have went through with the marriage. And he was like, yeah, but she didn't want to. So Sokka was like, wonder why she didn't want to go with you. Okay, period. Sokka was a player. I just seen a TikTok about Sokka being a player. Like, he literally had a girl from every tribe. But anyways, then we see Aang paying his respects and pretty much finding the temple of Avatar Kuruk. Kuruk? I think she was saying Kuruk. Kuruk. I'm gonna try to say it right, y'all. And so basically, they had their statue there in the Northern Water Tribe. So he's like, okay, maybe I can talk to him about something because this is his tribe. So let me see what he say. And Yue says that this avatar was closed off and ended up really spent most of his time like enamored by the spiritual realm. So he basically like wasn't a good social avatar, like how people wanted him to be. And so, boom, we see Aang end up going into the spirit world to talk to Avatar Kuruk. On this little visit, this is what is told. So Kuruk tells Aang he can't change the vision, but he can help with the outcome. So pretty much like, I can't help you like change the vision. That's just, if you've seen it, that's what's gonna happen. But maybe you could change the outcome and what happens after that. And he explains that he has to gain control of the avatar state and his bending. And Kuruk explains that like, Kuruk basically tells him he spent his whole life fighting dark spirits and that it took a toll on him. So like, he can't do what Kyoshi did when Kyoshi took over Aang's body in the avatar state and like saved her island. Like, he can't do that because he had been fighting spiritual battles for so long. Like, he just was tired. So really, he was protecting the people from what they couldn't even see. And they treated him like, what's wrong with him? But he was like really doing damage on the other side. So it's crazy. He's like, I can't help you. Like, and then he ends up saying that the spirit Ko, the same spirit, the Ko, troublemaker self, stole his lover's face. So he really been through the gutter. He had a hard life. And, respect. But he was also one of those people saying, you can't have friends. And it's just like, y'all, please. And Aang is just like, dang, so you're no help either. Thanks for nothing. Then we see Yue, and she pretty much admits to being the fox that Sokka seen in the spirit world. So he was like, oh, like, she's like, yeah, it's me. It was me. And so he like, how is that possible? And so she pretty much explains to him like that she is part of the moon spirit. She was very sickly as a baby, and the moon spirit literally gave her its essence And so she has pretty much a piece of the moon in her. And so she's able to visit the spirit realm in her dreams. And, she really be like in between both worlds. And that's why she feels such a responsibility. And that's why she became a priestess, because she is part of that spirit. So they end up having another heart to heart. And Yue is like, you have a beautiful heart, like you have a warrior's heart, to Sokka. And he pretty much was like, well, why didn't you marry that man? And she was like, well, that man wasn't the boy of my dreams. And I was like, she got more riz than Sokka. I'm like, oh, they risen it up. Like, period, Sokka. Period, UA. So pretty much, Aang is Team Avatar and Kuruk is Team Alone. Just like Avatar Roku. Just like Kyoshi. Just like a lot of the avatars that he's talked to already. So then we back to seeing Katara. She finally finds Paku, Master Paku, and she like, what you mean like women can't fight? And Master Paku is like, women are not strong enough. Like, they cannot learn. They're literally not capable. And she like, excuse me? Like, but then, get this. Aang is low-key agreeing with Master Paku, because Aang, he just got finished listening to the Avatar who was of that tribe, and he's like, yeah, bro, like, I don't want to have to worry about you and Sokka and everybody else that I love. And, like, I already got the world to worry about. I can't have y'all fighting right beside me, and then I have to worry about you, too. So he like, yeah, I don't think you should learn how to fight either, which is selfish, y'all, because it's like, how y'all gonna tell her she can't fight? What? So, boom, we back to the Fire Nation. Now we go with Iroh and Admiral Zhao, and they still talking, and Admiral Zhao is pretty much saying, like, I got a secret. I know I got something on my sleeve, so we got this in the bag, pretty much. So then we go see Iroh. He's like, all right, whatever. Goes away, talks to a guard, a random Fire Nation guard, lifts up the mask. Guess who it is? It's Zuko. Zuko ain't going nowhere. That all was fake, which I already knew, but I was just like, okay. So that's Zuko. And so pretty much Iroh is reporting everything back to Zuko, and it's just like, all right, now I see what's going on here, because clearly they would never trust Admiral Zhao. Like, please be for real. So it's just funny, because meanwhile Zuko was getting all the tea from Uncle Iroh, pun intended, and they pretty much end up concurring that Zhao is working with someone smarter. Like, ain't no way Zhao coming up with this by himself. Somebody told him what to do, because ain't no way. Because he ain't never been this smart before, apparently. So, boom, we go back to Azula. Azula finally tells her dad, no, I'm not doing this no more. You're not about to keep playing in my face. I'm not about to keep beating these little weak soldiers. What's up? Well, not what's up, but she just basically said no. And Fire Lord Ozai is like, who you telling no to? Because, that's the Fire Lord. Like, at the end of the day, he is the same person to all his kids. And Azula is like, listen here. So then we see Azula bend lightning. That's a very high form of fire bending. I don't know if y'all know. But the lightning bending, that's like energy building on top of the fire bending. That's a lot. So she bends the lightning. Everybody like, oh, she got the juice for real. So Fire Lord Ozai is like, oh yeah, now I'm happy. Like, now we working with something. So Katara's still upset that she just got told that she can't learn to fight with the water bending master of the northern tribe. So I could like, who cares what they say? Like, what you mean? Like, forget about what he got to say. Like, and she's like, you know what? No, I'm finna go challenge him. He like, all right, go do it. Go do it, sis. You got it. You don't need him. You go challenge him. Go do it. Because if you got, you is who you is. You know who you are. So show him who you are, period. And so Katara challenges Master Paku with her little water whip. Her first little move she learned. She went and go ahead and took it to battle with the master. And so they start battling. She a little shaky. She not the best. Master Paku is sharper. But she's still standing. She lasted a good minute. I ain't gonna lie. Like, she put up a good fight, for real. She had him a couple times. So it really showed her resilience. And Paku ends up backing her into a corner, of course. And she's still standing at the end of the day. Like, but, clearly she lost the battle. But it was just like, she took that L on the chin. You know what I'm saying? And Master Paku ends up complimenting her. But he's like, I'm not going to train you, though. Which is crazy. Like, how you going to say, oh, yeah, but I'm not going to train you, though? You cool, but no. But with all that being said, Katara does gain a lot of respect from all the younger benders, like the boys and the girls. They like, how you do that? So it's still cool for her. Like, who cares? You learn on your own. And at that moment, Katara ends up like telling Aang, like, listen, Aang, we want to fight because we want to fight. Like, you don't have to protect us. We know what's at stake and we are willing to do what we got to do just like you are. So we in this together pretty much. And Team Avatar emerges stronger than ever. Like, they just like, period. So it's a good thing. And then they see the sun coming from the sky, the black taking over the white snow, and the Fire Nation is approaching. So, boom. Now it's time to fight. And with that being said, that was episode 7, y'all, of Avatar The Last Airbender live action series. We are approaching the end. We are almost to the end, y'all. And I feel like this went by way too fast, even though I've stretched it out long enough. We are getting close to the end. So I hope y'all are staying tuned with me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Leave a comment on what was your favorite part of this episode. If you're still watching it, if you didn't start watching it, maybe go watch it right now and like see, or maybe just like go off what I said. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But hopefully y'all get us a like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.